who is uh, who is a professional in construction management, and he would take today's session. You are free to bring any of your friends in these kind of sessions, and we would keep on giving you free sessions. But yeah, obviously, I know your constraints, and with that, we are trying to find out a way. We are talking with universities if they would lend some airtime or something. But yeah, it would take some time. But thank you for all those who have joined today. And thank you, Anshit sir. We are trying to bring up more people out here. Welcome, Hadi. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Viswajit sir, for your introduction. My name is Anshit Gupta. I'll here be taking the session on construction management today. So without any further delay, I'll start sharing my screen now. So the topic for our webinar for today is construction management. So let us see some of the flow of the session. What are the topics that I'll be taking today? So first is what is construction management? Some basics of construction management. Why, as construction people from construction background, we actually need to study construction management. That we'll focus on. Then, when you study construction management, the biggest role that we perform for any organization or any construction project is a project manager or a construction manager. So we will see some functions and roles and responsibilities of a project manager. That is after studying construction management, what you do, all types of things, those we will cover. Then we will cover some basics of project life cycle. That is, a complete construction project is divided into a few phases, and every phase is managed differently. So that we will cover a complete project life cycle from start to end. And then we'll see some basics of organizations work down structure and work breakdown structure. So now I'll start with the session. So first we'll see what are the types of construction projects. Okay, so if we want to study construction management, that is, construction management is in general for all kind of construction projects. Okay, it is a general management course that will help you in construction of whether it is a real estate building or it is a commercial space or it is an infra project. So first we'll see that what actually these terms are that I am using: residential, commercial, infrastructure, what these things are. So first we'll see that what are the types of construction projects, whether it is African subcontinent or USA or India, whatever the area will be, but the construction projects are divided into these few kind of what you call it categories. So first is your normal residential construction building. Okay, whether where we people live. That may be a single story house, that can be a multi-story building. So first is a residential construction. Okay, in residential construction, it may be single family houses, it can be multi-family dwellings, or it can be high-rise apartments, high-rise buildings, which may be 70 floors, 80 floors, or up to 200 floors high. So what are the participants involved in a residential project? In a residential project, there are developers or sponsors. That is, the person who is sponsoring the project, who has its land area, and who is sponsoring, that is, who is financing the construction, who is the owner of the property till then. When up till then the flats are not sold, that person is known as project sponsor or project developer. Then finally, it's the designers. There are two kinds of designers. First one will be obviously the architect, who will do all the space planning and look, elevation, everything, who will finalize. And then there will be the structural engineers. The structural engineers will be those who will be calculating all the structural analysis, position of columns, beams, thickness of the slab, all those things. So those will be the design team, comprising of structural as well as architects. Then finally, the construction, the contractor or the construction known as the builder, who is performing the construction, that is the execution team. So these are the basic major stakeholders in a residential project. Then if we see institutional or commercial buildings, what are institutional and commercial buildings? The schools where we go to study, our college buildings, hostels, hospitals, universities, or retail chain stores, shopping complexes, malls, or a normal shop, maybe a single floor shop, 2-floor shop, petrol pumps. All these things come under commercial and institutional. So the team here involved is design will be done by architects, but specialty architects, that is those people who are well trained or have experience of that particular kind of building. For example, you want to design a hospital, so a hospital will be best designed by a person who has previous experience of design in a hospital, because what should be the size of the ICU, what should be the how the bio waste should travel throughout the building. There are various things, where will be the fire escape for the patients or for the doctors. There are thousand things you need to consider when you design a hospital, or you design a stadium, or you design a big shopping mall, or even a school or a university. So these architects will be special architects who are who have previous work experience and knowledge of those particular kind of projects. And then construction will be performed by the normal general contractors, builders, who specialize in this type of project. So this is the second category, that is institutional and commercial kind of buildings. Third is our industrial construction. What is industrial construction? uh, the industrial sheds, where all the factories, where all the goods are manufactured, and a big huge factory outlets, warehouses where you store material. And then all the industries, power plants, thermal power plants, nuclear power plants, hydro power plants, all this heavy machinery work goes under industrial construction. It can be any kind of industry, a small factory, a very small factory, or can be a very huge industry. So it requires a high degree of technological complexity. So everyone that works in this kind of project need to be well trained in such kind of projects, whether it is designing or whether it is the person who is constructing it, because high degree of technological complexity is there in these kinds of projects. So oil refineries, steel mills, chemical processing plants, etc. Owner usually deeply involved in the development of a project. In such kinds of projects, the owner, the factory owner who is just financing, he will be deeply involved in such kind of projects, because the reason being that due to the complexities involved. Then fourth type is heavy construction and infrastructure. That is basically heavy construction related to transportation, highways, roads, railways, tunnels, bridges, expressways, walkways, all those kinds of things come under infrastructure. Okay, metro lines, bullet trains, all these things. High degree of mechanization replaces labor intensive operations. So these operations were very labor intensive when we were done before 50 years or before 100 years, but now huge machines are used, boring machines are used to dig tunnels. Then huge tower cranes are used, various high machinery is required to control such kind of projects. So in such kind of projects, the need of construction management increases. Why? Because all these machines are very costly, and the rent of all these machines is huge on a per day basis, not even per month, on per day basis. So that's why here the construction role of construction management is much more. Then engineers and builders are highly specialized, high degree of mechanization. All these things are part of the fourth type, that is infrastructure project. Fifth is infrastructure related to energy. That is, these are infra projects only, but they are related to energy, like solar power plants, windmills. All the plants will come under fifth, that is energy sector. High degree of mechanization again replaces labor intensive operations. Here photos you can see, there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 tower cranes, and all tower cranes are different kind of tower cranes. There's a jib tower crane, there is a normal tower crane, one is the mechanical tower crane, all these things. This is the laughing kind of tower crane. So there are all different kind of machineries involved in this sector also. So these are the 5 sectors in which construction projects are basically divided. So now why we need to study construction management? Because of there are some characteristics of a construction project which are different from different projects, like IT project or a mechanical project. There are some things about construction project which is absolutely different from other projects. What are those? First is, it is a one time activity. Okay, you build your house, you build your home or a building, you build it once. You are not going to break it and build it again and again, because it is huge. The costing required is huge. Whatever features you require, you should communicate in the first hand itself. So it is a one time activity and it is a non repetitive activity. Okay, then complexity. Many stakeholders are involved: contractors, subcontractors, architects, engineers, financiers, banks, and even in some projects governments are involved. So there are various stakeholders required. So complexity. High cost, obviously high cost. and time for execution. Huge time period is required for constructing the construction projects. Then difficult in defining quality standards. For each and every item you need to define a quality standard, which becomes very difficult when you do it on a practical level. Then uniqueness of people relationship. How uniqueness? Because every project is unique. Contractors involved are different, architects are different, the product you are doing is different, the land is different, the land here will be different from the land 1 kilometer from this place. So every project is unique in itself. So due to the uniqueness of a particular project, it becomes very difficult to manage every project. It is not a repetitive task that you are going to do daily, same what you did previously. Then lack of experience of client or owner. Generally, in these projects, the generally in these projects, the a client or owner may be the person who is just financing the project. Okay, so in that particular case, it becomes very difficult for us to communicate with the client, because they do not have the technical knowledge. So sometimes they are unable to share their feedback also regarding the project, that what they actually want. Then untrained workforce. Whatever you do, how many degrees you take as a civil engineer, at the end, the person who is going to work on the site, whom you are going to make him work, is an untrained workforce, that is labor. So that becomes very difficult to to communicate, to talk, to make those kind of people work according to your quality standards, what you have studied in your engineering or in your management, or what you have discussed with the client. But you need to convey that to the labor also, and you have to make him do it, whether you do it by using subcontractors or you do it yourself. So all these things make a construction project very tough, complex, and require understanding of design, construction, and management. They involve processes, procedures, objectives, targets, both human and other resources. Huge expectations are involved with a project. Expectations may vary. Some may be there for profit percentage, some may be they are themselves going to reside in that particular project. So huge expectations are involved. Promises, contracts, schedules are there, timelines are finalized. For example, a project who is costing 50 crores or 100 crores, or maybe a small project of 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, whatever with the cost of the project may be. For that particular case, also schedules are required, that in how much time you are going to complete the project. Every day you need to track that schedule. Or what will happen, that you might have thought that I'll complete this project in 1 year, but at the end you see that after 1 year, even half of the project is not completed. So there are contracts and agreements also involved between different parties. Budgets are there. Why budgets are there? Because everyone has, money is limited. Okay, money is such resource which is limited with everyone. If I have only 10 lakhs in my account, that may be Indian national rupees, INR, or your currency, that doesn't matter. Whatever my budget is, I need to finish that project in that particular budget only, without compromising with my quality. So plans, coordination, supply chain, that is supply of material and labor. There are huge stakeholders that we already saw. The projects are shared efforts of multiple parties, and therefore uncertainty comes from various resources. See, there is an IT project which 2 3 people sitting at their laptop are executing, but construction project, there are so many people involved, so many resources involved, that it becomes very difficult to control everyone or every other party. That's why uncertainty can come from various places. So as a construction manager, you need to target those places. We come to know that 3 factors become major constraint for any project. So when you talk about any uh, if they talk about any what you call it, any project, any construction project, it will be maybe time overrun, poor performance, or cost overrun. So these are the 3 things that you need to cater on as a construction manager, or even as a civil engineer. Quality, this is the triangle, this is known as the important triangle of construction management, where you need to, it is a trade-off between time, cost, scope, and quality. Scope is what is your project scope, what you need to execute, the BOQ, the bill of quantities that we have. So the trade-off between time, cost, and quality is what construction management is. If you need to understand that, where you need to focus, where balance you want to keep. For example, if you keep on increasing the quality, the cost will also increase, time will also increase. So you cannot unnecessarily keep on increasing quality also if you have budget constraints. So you need to keep all these things in mind, whether it is cost, time, quality, all these things you can uh, directly linked. So all these things are linked, and this lead to effective construction management. A person who can control all these aspects of a project becomes a fine construction management. So now actual need, why the need arises. So this is the status, what happens throughout the world. Okay, in case of power projects, it was seen that there was a cost overrun of 75%. That is, if this was the original cost, what the budget they had prepared, by the time they completed the project, this was the actual cost, 75% cost overrun, okay, of your budget. In railway projects throughout the world, it generally happens 192% cost overrun. So this shows very poor management. Okay, the budget that you thought zoomed 192%, that is actually huge. 75%. Roads and highways, this is the data for throughout the world, its cost overrun goes up to 100%. In urban development projects, cost overrun goes up to 81%. So this was the cost overrun. Now here you will see time overrun. That is, if you had planned the project for 12 months, that project you were not even able to finish in 14 months, 18 months, 24 months. This shows very poor construction management and control over the project. For example, in power sector, there was time overrun varied from 1 month to 123 months. In railway projects, it varies from 3 months to 261 months, that is years of time overrun. So what calculations we are doing, what scheduling we are doing, how we are right now the construction industry is working throughout the world, that you can see here itself in this statistics. You will get the reason why you need to study construction management, and why the whole world is suffering from a poor management in construction industry right now. In case of roads and highways, from 6 months to 61 months the project have been extended. In urban development, it varies from 8 months to 60 months. So these were the reasons why we need to study construction management. Can you guess what were the reasons for time overruns reported by various project implementing agencies? Why there was such huge cost overruns and time overruns? So these were the different reasons that the people working at project, the people who were executing the project or the client, they reported. When people asked them that why there is such a huge overrun of cost and time, these were the reasons. First reason and the foremost reason that prevails throughout the world is delay in land acquisition. This happens in all government projects in all countries. Okay, the day the government promised you to the contractor that you will receive, you can acquire this land and you can start the construction, that day the land is never handed over to the contractor. There will be some issues with every government project. So delay in land acquisition is always there. Then there is delay in forest clearance. Okay, then fund constraints with the client, problems in equipment erection. Okay, when you erect these tower cranes, huge passenger hoist, all these machines, it is very tough procedure. If you do not have the required skill set, people who have the required skills, then it is completely it becomes very difficult to manage. Slow progress in civil works. See, this slow progress shows that when the progress was going slow, you as a civil engineer who was working on such kind of projects was not even able to track that the progress is going slow as per my schedule. So what kind of planning we are doing, what kind of management we are doing as construction managers in the world, this situation is going on right now. There were court cases, then there were delay in forest clearances, delay in supply of equipments. We couldn't even coordinate with the equipment, the person who supplies the equipment, that by which date this tower crane will be delivered at my site. So I should at least order, I should add some buffer time. For example, I'm just considering a hypothetical example. What happens is various machines, okay, various machines come from Malaysia, Singapore, all these countries to India, which are huge tower cranes, passenger hoists. So you know that it is an international transport required. There will be various paperwork, various formalities. The person is telling you, he has already told you that once I receive your purchase order, it will require me 3.5 months to 4 months to deliver all the materials at your site. So we, as a planner, we should understand that we should at least consider 14, 15 or 20 days as buffer period, and we should order that material 4.5 to 5 months before we actually require it at site. Such kind of planning is not being performed in various construction projects, and then the civil engineers working on that project, they say that the material or the equipment was delayed to you. The supply of the equipment was not delayed to you. You didn't order it on time. That's where the construction management comes into picture. So geological surprises. What are those geological surprises? We considered that when we will excavate for any XYZ project, there will be only soft soil, and we accordingly provided the BOQ. Contractor also quoted a less rate, considering that it is a soft soil and it will be easy to excavate. But when they started excavating, the after 2-3 meters, the soil was very hard with hard boulders and hard rocks. In that case, the contractor will also not be able to perform in that time, nor in that cost, not even with that equipment that he thought. Blasting may be required, stone cutters may be required. So why this geological surprises? Why we couldn't go for a detailed soil investigation report before preparing the BOQ? So all those things, shortage of labor. Okay, there is shortage of labor for 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, and we as a project manager are not even acting upon it. So all these things create a huge disbalance at site. Then MOS problems. This is very much prevalent in India also, and also in Africa also, and various other countries. The localites, they create issue for any project. They try to stop the work. All these things. Contractual issues. Okay, the conditions that were written in the contract were different from what actually the person has to execute at site. Inadequate mobilization by the contractor. The contractor that you have appointed is purposely not what you call it, mobilizing the labor at site. Law and order situation in that particular country, which issue obviously persists in every country. So these are the reasons for time overruns as well as cost overruns. So 60-70% of time and cost overrun due to these delays could be controlled easily with effective management. If your company's management is effective and they are able to take timely action, not action. Action is taken by everyone. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe after 1 month, your company will wake up and they will start doing action on the things that are going wrong with the project. But it's all about construction management is all about timely action. If you are not taking timely action and your project is already delayed 1.5 months, then your action will not be termed as effective. So all these are the reasons that we need to study construction management. So what construction management is and what are the small aspects of construction management? First, overall planning. Overall planning of the project from the first day when the person thought that I have this piece of land and I want to build something XYZ at this piece of land. From till that day till the last day, all the machines and everything is removed from the site. That overall planning of each and every material, labor, each and every activity which should be performed by when, what activity should be finished by when, all these things, overall planning of the complete project has to be at the end of the day managed by the construction management team. Then coordination. What this coordination is, coordination between different stakeholders, subcontractors, clients, customers, material suppliers, equipment suppliers, our own in-house construction team, which is accounts, stores, commercial costing team, your technical team, your site safety team, quality team. You have to satisfy around 1,000 people to make a project go smooth. So the main aspect is coordination, which is very tough. It may look easy right now, but the people who have actually worked in this industry will relate to this, that coordination is the toughest part of construction industry. Then control of a project from beginning to completion. You don't only need to coordinate, but you need to take the control of the project in your own hands. Then construction project management is aimed at meeting a client's requirement in order to produce a functionally and financially viable project. The project should be managed functionally as well as financially. Apart from all these things, managing the overall quality of the project, managing the safety of the project, safety of your labor, safety of the engineers, safety of staff working at the site, all these things also have to be taken by the construction management team. You even have to coordinate with the architects and structural consultants. From my practical experience of site, what happens is many times for the same structure, the drawing of the architect will be different and drawing of the structural engineer will be different. And the drawing for the MEP consultant, that is mechanical, electrical, plumbing consultant, will be completely different. Now you need to coordinate between all the three parties and make sure that whatever ambiguity you have with the drawing is resolved. And not only it's resolved, it should be resolved before time. That is when you're at various times, it happens at site that people start working on a project and after that the work is completely stopped. Why? Because there was an ambiguity in drawing. The planning team, coordination team, no one looked at that. Even the site execution team, no one saw that ambiguity throughout the site. And the day when we were going to execute that job, that day we saw that, oh, this, there is a change in this drawing. Now what we should do? Now we will email and we will coordinate with architects, structural engineer, MEP consultant. Then they will check the drawing, they will respond, they will send you a revised drawing. So this step is anyway going to take 15 days. So what effective construction management is, if someone from the construction management team had already seen this issue, that all the three drawings of the same floor have some differences in them, and this 15 days could be done before only when you reach that particular slab or you reach that particular floor of that building. But instead of that, because the team was very poor in management and in technical aspects, they saw that ambiguity on the last day when they were going to start the work. So 15 days the work was stopped at site, labor was sitting idle, machine was sitting idle. You were, for 15 days you were paying salary for all your engineers, and all the equipments were being idle, but you had to pay the rent. All these things happened, but the work was not performed. Why? Just because you couldn't see that ambiguity beforehand. So all these things uh, tell you about how the construction management team is. So what are the key areas of construction management? Human resources, site organization, that is project team. Okay, you need to manage your complete project team. That project team may be yours, maybe clients. All the project team need to be managed and monitored by you. Contracts management, risk management, you need to manage all the risks on your project. And then all the what you need, all the contracts you need to manage, all the work orders you need to manage, all the paperwork, agreement, all the terms and conditions you need to see in detail, all these things. Then complete project planning, complete project monitoring, and project control. Then you need to see all the on-site facilities and layouts. What are on-site facilities? The labor colony, the place where the labor will stay, and from the where the security cabin will be, how you are going to barricade the project to stop the theft from site, how many security guards you need to put, and where they will be placed, how, when the truck will enter, from where the truck will enter, and how the truck will move throughout the site. All these things come under on-site facilities and layout, which an effective construction manager and project manager need to understand and manage our own project. Then you need to manage material procurement also, that is timely procurement plus management of wastage also you need to see, because the person who controls wastage controls the complete project. If you are able to minimize the wastage, then you will be able to save your own cost. Then construction equipments, machinery, budgets, cash flows, and billings you need to do. First you need to manage machines, then all the, you need to check your budgets also, and then you need to provide, you need to sign bills and accounts that will pay the money to your laborers, to your equipment suppliers, all those things. Project complete quality control of the complete project you need to do. Then you need to manage health and safety of the workers, your engineers, all the things at site. Then all the documents, all the paperwork, that is known as project information system. And then finally the project closeout, that is when we end the project, the demobilization phase. So all these are the main areas of construction management. The person who controls all these areas, or who is efficient in all these areas, becomes an efficient construction manager. So we'll see the roles and responsibilities and functions of a project in charge. So after someone gets a construction management degree, or they are or a certification in construction management, then with your work experience, this is the final position that everyone wants to reach. That is the project manager, who is the head of the project, the final head of the project, the project in charge. So what are his functions, roles, and responsibilities? He is responsible to the upper management to ensure the project's profitability. Your seniors who are sitting in your office, maybe your vice president or president of the company, all those things, who ensure uh, uh, the profitability of the construction project. So they will be keep on asking you weekly, they will be asking you for reports, monthly they will be asking you for reports, all those things will be there. He has to select and maintain the appropriate team to economically and effectively complete the project. He has to select his own team. Okay, for example, you want a quality person, there will be 100 quality people that will be coming for interview. The HR will be there, but at the end you need to select an effective person for your own job. HR will be there to assist you, in equipments, but finally it with the HR, the technical call is yours. So you need to select and maintain the appropriate team to economically and effectively complete the project. To that level, even you need to calculate that how much amount of billing I am doing in a month. So I require one engineer or I require two engineer, and engineers I require of this much salary. Even to that level, the calculation you need to do. Economically and effectively complete the project to the owner's standards as set for in the plans and specifications while making profit for the construction company. So you are a middle person who need to first see clients requirements, client standards. You need to abide by all those things, and also by abiding by all those things, plus you need to make profit for your own construction company also, excuse me. So these both things you are responsible for as a construction manager. He's responsible for implementing time and schedule control. You need to control the complete schedule, the schedule that you have prepared, that I will execute this project in 2 years, and you have divided that schedule into month wise, that this month at least these much activities should be completed. Then only I'll be able to complete my project in 2 years. So you need to implement that, and you need to keep on checking that. You need to control cost, you need to control quality. And he conducts business with owners representative, project management consultant, architect representative, everyone he coordinates with. He's involved in business and formal requirements of the contracts. His ability, versatility, experience, commitment, managerial skills and leadership are important for project success. He should be a technically sound person. He should be appropriately qualified. Now what is this appropriately qualified? He should have a certification or a degree in construction management. That can be a degree also, and that can be a certification also. Adequate experience on comparable project, then he should have enough work experience. A good leader capable of galvanized project team to achieve goal. So kindly requesting you to not to unmute in the middle. We'll have a interactive discussion at the end, just when I'll finish with the topics. Thank you so much. Yeah. So his ability, versatility, experience, and his managerial skill as well as leadership are important for project success. He should be a technical, qualified, adequate experience, a good leader capable of galvanizing project team to achieve goals. See, someone can have high technical skills, but it does not mean that it makes them a good leader. A good leader is different from a good technical person. There are two different things. Then he should be a good planner. He should be able to analyze data and take quick decision. He should be a troubleshooter, should be able to pick up problem for solution. A strict and follower of discipline, good communication skill and language ability, mobilization of resources, that is he should have a knowledge of material, labor, equipment and funds mobilization. He's responsible for coordination and liaising with agencies, quality assurance as well as quality control, and control and safeguard assets. You need to safeguard your assets. Okay, it reduces your profit, or it may lead you to loss if there is theft at your site. So you need to look after the theft also. Then there are what different kinds of construction related companies are there. All these people hire construction managers. Okay, these are different types of companies which are related to construction only. All these things, all these companies hire people from construction management certification. These are contractor firm, the person who gets the contract for executing the job; client firm, who is the owner of the project; architect consultant, who designs; structural consultant, who is responsible for the structural designing; subcontractors, okay, the person who are working what you call it, under the main contractor. Those people are known as subcontractors. Then material manufacturing firms, material suppliers, as well as material distributors. Then project management consultancies and machine suppliers. So these are the people who look after. These are the different kinds of construction related companies, and they all hire people from construction management courses and certifications. Now we'll switch to our next topic, project life cycle. So what actually a project life cycle is? So in normal English or in construction terms, a project life cycle is a complete life of a project. That is from the first day when you started or you thought of executing a project till the last day when the project was complete and you demobilized from the site, you demobilized the labor, machines, everything from that site, and you finally uh, moved away from that project, which is known as the demobilization phase. This is the complete project life cycle from starting from the first day till the last day. This is known as project life cycle. So in construction project, the life cycle of a project is divided into 6 phases. First is my pre-project phase. Second is my planning and design phase. Third is my contractor selection phase. Fourth is my contractor mobilization phase. Fifth is the bigger one, project operation phase, when the actual construction goes on. And then the project closeout and termination phase, when you complete the project and you leave from the site. So these are the 6 uh, phases of the construction life cycle, and construction management is involved in every aspect of the life cycle of the project. That's why we are discussing this construction life cycle in detail. So here is a graph, percentage complete to date till the months after project start. So here you can see 0 to 2 months. This is pre-project phase. Then from 2 months till 10th month of the project is planning and design phase. Then from 10th till 11th, you can see this is contractor selection phase. Then the contractor mobilizes at site. Okay, it takes them 15 to 20 days to mobilize their machine at site, to mobilize labor, engineer, everything at site once they receive the contract to work at a project. Then finally the project operation phase or construction phase, from this phase till the last day. And then it takes 1 to 2 months from to project close out and turnover. You check all these things, you demobilize your material from the project. This takes you, this comes under project closeout and project termination phase. So this is the complete project life cycle. Now we will see just brief of these 6 phases. So first is pre-project phase. Okay, when you got the idea that I should execute this project, I should buy this plot of land, or I should build a commercial complex here, or I can build a residential here. You do all the R&D, whether I should go for commercial, whether I should go for residential, all these things, they all are known as pre-project phase. Project begins with an idea, a perceived need or a desire to improve or add the productive capacity of more efficient provision of some public service. Whatever you thought of, that there should be a highway here, so the government thought of building a highway here or a roadway here, or as a private client you thought to build a hospital here. This is the pre-project phase, when you are in the thinking stage. Okay, when you want your idea to become an actual project. So owner needs to take key decisions. What are the key decisions that will be taken by the owner? The project delivery system, what he wants to build, and what are the type of contract that he wants to work in, whether it will be item rate project or it will be a lump sum project, how he is going to give the contract. So this is the pre-project phase. Then comes the actual planning and designing phase, where all the technical things happen, finalization of drawings, calculation of quantities, all these things come under planning. First stage, define project objectives, that what you want to achieve from this project, what will be your budget, all the objectives, why you are executing this project. This comes under the project planning phase. Okay. Then so this is divided into 3 stage. Okay, the 3 things, that is in planning and design phase. First, you will define the objectives, why I am executing this project, all these things. Second stage, schematic diagrams showing relationship among the various project components, followed by detailed design. In detail, you will get the structural design, electrical design, plumbing design, all the designs. Then final stage, then finally, from design development efforts, contract documents are prepared for use in contractor selection. Now, before we reach to the third stage, that is selecting the contractor or the person or the team of people who will execute the project, you need to finalize the contract documents and designs. Design, contract documents, specifications, pre-qualification criteria, how you are going to bid, evaluate, all these things are a detail. There is a actually detailed course on tendering, bidding and contracts, which I am only taking with Protrainy, which was also a 21 days course, which I just finished yesterday itself. So all these things, contracts and tendering is part of all these things. So this is the second stage. Now third stage is finally contractor selection, where you open the tender, you close the tender, you do the pre-qualification process, you finalize the contractor, you find the project alternatives, that is planning steps, methods and equipments, construction schedule, you final all the things regarding the project, price the proposal, that is what will be the cost, how much will be the extra cost, all these things, submittal, opening and evaluation of tenders, and finally selection of a successful contractor and finalization of a contractor. This is a contractor selection phase, which is also very important, because if you select a wrong person, he will not work according to what you had planned, or he will reduce the quality, or he will purposely delay the work. All these things can be there in a project. Then finally the project mobilization phase, that is once you have finalized the contractor, now you will ask him, you will sign a contract document with him, and you will ask him to mobilize at the site, that you should come and start executing the work. So he will require some 10 to 15 days, which may vary up to 18 to 20 days, to bring labor to site, to bring heavy equipment machinery to site, to bring what you call it, all the engineers to set up his office, to set up his labor colony, all those things. So number of activities must be completed before the work actually begins. That is various bonds, licenses and insurance you need to take, detailed construction program you need to prepare, cost estimate converted into project budget, system for tracking actual cost must be established, how you are going to track the actual cost from the project. You need to set up temporary buildings, that is site offices and what you call it, labor hutments, etc. Storage area where you will store cement, where you will store the other construction related material. Then post completion of this phase, actual construction work starts. So this was the fourth phase, which is project mobilization phase. Now the fifth phase is project operation phase. Then when the work actually starts. So what are the responsibilities of a construction manager in this phase? His responsibilities are monitoring and control of the project, managing all the resource, that is resource management, documentation and communication. Then the final aspects of monitoring and control are preparing the actual progress versus planned progress, actual cost versus planned cost. Then quality management, that is work complies with technical requirements or not, safety of your labor, engineers, minimize environmental impact. You also have to look after that whether you are impacting the management environment, and how you can reduce the pollution and all those things related to environment, because in construction projects it is the huge issue created by all the governments. Noise pollution is there, dust is there, your air pollution. Some hazardous chemicals are also used at site, so if you spill those hazardous chemicals, then it will lead to land pollution. So all these things you need to look after, and you need to take various permissions. Then resource management, assigning and supervising persons, materials and plant must be managed. Documentation, large amount of paperwork will be there. Examples, special drawings, sample approvals, responding to request for change, meetings, minutes of meetings are there. All these documentation paperwork will be there. Checklist, which you are going to sign by your quality team and the client, all those things. Assessing value of work done, that is how much work has been executed, releasing money, bill, requesting payment for work, all these things. This will be the final construction phase. Then the final sixth phase, which is project closeout, when the construction is completed, and then you are testing and repairing if the repair is required. So various testing and startup tasks need to be performed. Final cleanup, various inspections and remedial works. You need to close the site office and remove the site office from there. Transfer of staff you need to do. You need to transfer those staff to your other project which is running. Then special paperwork, including approvals and certifications. Final payment you need to get from the client. As built drawings, operating manual, warranties, final report, and transferring and archiving project records. Now, what is this archiving project records? All the lessons learned, whatever your company has learned lessons from this project, you need to note them down so that all these mistakes are not repeated in the future projects. So this is known as lessons learned. This is a good way to learn from the previous experience of your previous projects. So this was the complete project life cycle, which is in a construction project divided into 6 phases. So now we'll move to the last topic of our today's session, that is work breakdown structure. So what actually a work breakdown structure is? See, When you are executing a construction project, there will be various items involved like excavation, then shuttering, then there will be reinforcement fitting, then there will be concreting, then painting, flooring, electrical works, and then different packages will be there in electrical works also. Wiring will be there, switch socketing will be there. In plumbing, there will be drainage line, water supply line. So many things we need to take care of. So what we do is, for our easy calculation, for our easy management and easy quantification, we divide our complete work into different packages. That is known as work breakdown structure. So the purpose of work breakdown structure is to define the various work tasks that must be completed. Okay, so the actual purpose is to define various work tasks that must be completed. Definition: a product oriented family tree. It's like a categorization, a family tree kind of concept of work effort that provides a level by level subdivision of the work to be performed in a contract. Okay, we subdivide our work that we need to do into in a contract into different packages. A picture of the project subdivided into hierarchical units of work. It is a snapshot, a picture of the project in which the project is subdivided into hierarchical units of work. So technique in which project is broken down into manageable chunks, small manageable chunks. WBS represents a task-oriented family tree of activities and organizes, defines, and graphically displays the total work to be accomplished in order to achieve the final objectives of the project. It is deliverable-oriented grouping of project elements. Framework for converting projects objectives into specific deliverables. So now we'll see methodology, how we prepare a WBS, and finally we'll see some graphs of the different WBS. So methodology, a project is split into different levels from top to bottom. Okay. Project, first the project will be divided into small sub projects. That is, it may be like, I'm just telling you for an example, substructure. What is substructure? That is any work till ground level or below the ground level, that will be substructure. Then it will be superstructure, that is from plinth or the ground floor till the top. So this becomes the first subdivision, that is substructure and superstructure. Now in substructure, you will further divide it into other activities like excavation, raft footing foundation, then basement slab, all these things. Okay, so this will be further divided. So like that, you keep on further dividing the activities into projects, into sub projects into work packages into tasks, task into activities. Once this breakdown is exhaustive, operations such as development of time schedules, resource allocation, and project monitoring becomes simplified. For an example, I'll take example here. We are going to study 2-3 examples. Before that, I'll just complete the theoretical part. By defining the various work packages, the WBS allows the construction manager to plan and schedule the work. First is why we divide it into packages, so that your planning becomes easy, your control becomes easy. Okay, because you have divided into different activities. So different different kind of labor are involved, different kind of machines are involved, all the resources are different for different elements of work packages. So it becomes very easy to monitor. Okay, not very easy, but comparatively less difficult when you divide it into different packages. This breakdown is just known as work breakdown structure. By defining the various work packages, the WBS allows the construction manager to first plan and schedule the work and thus describe the project's total program. Second, estimate cost and budgets. Okay, in planning it will help, in estimating costing and budgeting also it will help, in authorizing parcels of work and assign responsibilities. So you have divided it into various packages, so you can easily now assign those packages to different people of your team or other contractors. It will be easy to assign responsibilities, that which work is responsibility of which particular person, like that. Then finally it becomes easy to track schedule, to track cost and quality performance as the project proceeds. So these are the benefits of dividing a project into work breakdown structure. So now this is an example of construction of an IT park. I'll just zoom in a bit so that it will be easily visible to everyone. See, now what we have done first is construction of IT park. Now they have divided into, there are 3 towers in the project, so they divided it into construction of tower 1, construction of tower 2, construction of tower 3, then road works, and then area development. Okay, then Now they have shown you the subdivision of construction of tower 2. The subdivision in construction of tower 2 is: first is civil works, then architectural, plumbing and sanitary works, mechanical works, mechanical works, fire protection, that is FPS, electrical works, and low voltage system. Now civil works, they have further subdivided into preliminary, general task, earthwork, piling works, CC and RCC works, then waterproofing works. Now RCC, they have further divided into this packages. So this is known as work breakdown structure. This architectural work, they have divided into 5 different packages. Plumbing work, they have divided into sanitary fitting, water supply, drainage system, borewell, rainwater harvesting pumps, all these things. Mechanical works, they have subdivided into AC machine equipments, uh, all this mechanical, different HVAC, air distribution system, all these things. Fire protection, they have other divided into 10. Then electrical works also, they have divided into 14. Low voltage system, they have divided into 7 subtasks. So this is what a work breakdown structure looks like. So you can focus on one particular activity. There is a coding. See, there is coding for every item. You can use that coding and you can easily enter the data as per that particular code. Resources, that means material, labor, engineer, all these things. So this was the one example. Other example is, there is a hydropower project. So for this is a level 1. Level 2, support transmission power receiver. Now level 3, it is further subdivided into 3434 tasks. This was another example. Now this level 3, then level 4 is residential, recreational, educational development, then this into 4, then this into 3, like that. So this was the complete work breakdown structure. So I'd like to stop my teaching part now. So this was just a brief of construction management, of an idea, or just a starting of various webinars that are going to happen one by one. Just a starting of the way how we teach, how we interact. So now I'm open for any doubts. Anyone who want to ask the doubts, they can type in the chat box also, and they can unmute and speak also. I'm up for both of them. Thank you everyone for listening peacefully throughout the session. Not related to this topic also, anything you want to discuss related to civil engineering and related to our construction industry, I'm open for discussion. Anything any students want to ask, you can ask anything related to civil or construction.
So no one has any doubt? It should be
Yeah.
end of the session.
One doubt I have received in the chat box. What is the latest technologies and different discoveries in civil engineering? See, sir, there are various latest technologies which are being adopted in construction industry now. As you have seen, that first is augmented reality and all these things which were first in only used in IT sector. Now they are being deployed in our machineries. So first was that. Second is BIM. BIM is being used throughout the world now. The BIM has started being using it as a software whose detail can be shared to you by the Protrainy team itself. Then there are various wearable machines now available which help you in plastering. For example, there are various robots. They are not actually like Tesla robots. They are normal machines which help you in plastering. For example, when a normal team of labor, that is a mason and a mason helper, when they execute plaster, their productivity is 10 to 15 square meters in one day when we consider 8 hours working. But now using this robots, which I have personally used in my 2 construction sites in the company which I was working on in Mumbai, on this projects, the rate of plaster and the ease of plaster was so fast, like it could perform the work of at least 8 to 10 labors could be performed by a single machine in one day. It could easily finish 80 to 90 square meters of plaster in one day. So this, there are various drones are now being deployed, small construction robots, modular construction, artificial intelligence and machine learning are now being used in construction. So all these things are the latest discoveries related to construction. Which computer software do you recommend for project management? So for complete project management, they are not softwares. There are parcels available for different things. For example, planning, which is the 60% part of project management. For that, Microsoft project, that is MSP is being used. Primavera is being used. Then the costing, which is the other part of project management. Candy software is being used. Microsoft Excel, advanced Excel is used for costing part. So planning, costing, and monitoring and control. These are the 4 or 5 softwares. SAP is used. Candy is used, and for planning, MSP and Primavera. These are the 4 or 5 softwares which will help you in complete project and construction management.
Any more doubts? Anyone? Thank you everyone for joining the session. I hope that this session was knowledgeable and helpful. Thank you everyone and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening so peacefully. I hope it was your first interaction with us. Maybe it will be, it should be somewhere, it should be helpful to you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.